Ladies and gentlemen, this is Won-Jin movie so awesome. I'm Joe.
I'm Won-Jin.
Today we're gonna have a time where we reminisce about George Miller's Mad Max Fury Road. This released on 2014.
Yeah.
So we,
whoa.
yeah,
It's been 10 years?
yeah,
It doesn't feel that old.
yeah. I mean,
Damn.
it's a timeless piece, I guess. So we didn't put a spoilers. If you have not watched George Miller's Mad Max Fury Road or Mad Max series from the 80s, you've been missing out. So please check them out before you watch this cast. Here we go.
Okay.
Like, I gotta be honest with you. Let me go first. I did not think when, remember around like right after Fury Road dropped, there were like interviews where George Miller said he wants to do a Furiosa prequel. I remember looking at articles about that. I actually didn't think it was gonna happen because you know how like, for example, Ridley Scott always mentions like I want to do this project and that,
and then it takes ages for it to actually come into like fruition.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like making a movie is a really difficult business, so I did not expect it to happen, but. Now that it's dropping, like, I mean...
Is it also by George Miller?
Of course, yeah, it is.
Furiosa?
Yeah,
okay.
It's him. I think in the original Mad Max trilogy, I think the Thunderdome thing might not have been him. Like, the director might have changed.
Oh, okay, George Miller.
Because the original Mad Max series have 3 movies. First one, Mad Max.
Oh, what's up, Skywalker?
And the second one, Road Warrior. What's up, Skywalker? We're talking about Australia here, so you can pitch in. And the third one was, the Thunderdome one. Personally, I like the first 2 a lot.
Yeah.
But the Thunderdome one I didn't like so much. But,
I think the Mad Max that we know, if people first came across the Mad Max franchise through Fury Road, the original Mad Max that is actually very close and that resembles the second. Mad Max Fury Road is the second installment of the franchise, because I remember watching the first original Mad Max. The story was a lot different. I think it was about like this cop. I think it was about a police officer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think that was Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so
it was about the revenge tale.
Yeah, the second one is the Mad Max that we know.
The simple formula where.
In this like post-apocalyptic world, we have these like.
Oh, what's up, Zezzy? Hello, grandchild. Old farts are here to entertain y'all. But yeah, so you're right. But Fury Road I think it is definitely an upgrade because Mad Max was in the 80s, and Fury Road is 35 years later. And what amazed me about Fury Road was just the simplicity.
Yeah.
And the seamless blending of practical effects and CG, because I'm pretty sure CG was used. Remember that Sandstorm scene? That's 100% CG. But what amazed me was, did people die over this movie? you can't help but think, whoa,
maybe it happened
whoa.
and they just like, shh.
Yeah.
What amazed me as well was like how simple yet entertaining and awesome it was, because when I heard that they're gonna make this like reboot of Mad Max, I didn't really expect much, because I was thinking like Hollywood is starting to run out of ideas, like Mad Max. I mean, compared to movies like Terminator or
when
something.
the remakes were happening, you're talking about.
The original Mad Max wasn't. I didn't put it on the level of something that was like worthy of being rebooted. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I mean, that might have something to do with you're not being familiar with George Miller's work. Because he was already considered an odd-tier director. Like some would say, like level with Tarantino, or I guess today it's Christopher Nolan. So I actually expected a lot.
But, like putting that lack of enthusiasm aside, after like leaving the theater, I was so hyped up because it was so awesome in so many different levels.
No,
I
but
mean,
once
like you said, the story is very simple. It's like you start here, you go there, and then you come back, and that's it.
No, here's another thing, Won-Jin. I have never watched a movie so loyal to his name. It's called Mad Max Fury Road. I'm like, yes, Matt, it is literally a Fury
And
Road.
the road is full of fury.
And then, like, the soundtrack was amazing, too.
Oh, man. And that red guitar guy.
Yeah.
Oh, man. There are so many elements that gave this movie, like, this feeling of being somewhere that is so bad, insane, and basically so savage.
Scott Walker, have you guys heard of the Australian movie called Crocodile Dundee? Yeah, of course we have, Walker. I didn't get to watch it yet, Zezzy. You haven't watched Mad Max Fury Road? You should watch it. Like, I mean, you're gonna feel what, like, passing by 2 hours, like, feel like. Because it's 2 hours long, you know that?
Yeah.
And Won-Jin, I agree with everything you said, but I want to add that it's one of the most feminist movie ever.
Oh, that's also true.
It's one of those movies where, I mean, I guess, like, we recently talked about Damsel, right? But I think Damsel probably gleaned from Fury Road, where, you know, a female character has few dialogues and speaks through her action. You know, it reminded me a lot of Sigourney Weaver from Alien.
Yeah.
Where, I mean, I guess Alien is more dialogue heavy than Fury Road, because Fury Road basically has almost no dialogue.
Yeah.
Remember, Tom Hardy barely has 10 lines over the whole movie.
That's right. And his role is not as prominent as, like, the male protagonist's role in the original series. And I was so happy that they cast, like, the right people for the job. I mean, for example, I think the guy who plays Immortan, I think he also plays the bad guy.
Yeah,
in the original Mad Max, from the first movie.
Yeah.
And we have Charlize Theron to play Furiosa. I think there was, like, nobody else who could do a better job than her. And I
would actually say, like Charlize Theron, remember, like, she had the what's that role where she played that Russian assassin and shit?
Oh, I think that comes after.
No, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Atomic Blonde or something?
No, because that's what I'm saying. Because like, before this movie, she wasn't really considered an action star. Remember? But
no, she actually had this movie. I forgot the name. Where,
which
like, there was this, like, her partner who had, like, her feet were also like hands. I forgot the name. Hold on. I'll look it up. But, I mean, she did play some action sequences.
No, but, like, as a lead action star, though, don't you think, like, this, like, Fury Road made that for her? Because before that, I didn't really...
I think she did have, like, an action role before, but I think this left the strongest impression.
So what I'm trying to say was, like, after this, she got more action, like, roles, though. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I think.
Oh, this is it. Aeon Flux.
Oh, okay.
Aeon Flux. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, because that one I really don't remember.
Yeah. It's probably because it was very subpar.
Really? No, because...
that's probably why.
Remember, like... I remember this now. When you remember, like, 10 years ago when we watched this movie, I was like, why is this movie called Mad Max? It should have been called Mad Furiosa. Fucking Morton Road. It's just like... Because, like... But I would say this, though. I would praise Tom Hardy, though. He held his own. Like, I felt like it was more of a partnership between them.
Yeah.
And I thought Hardy... like, retained a lot of the original Mel Gibson energy, despite, remember those grandmas were there too?
Yeah.
Because like, Fury Road, like 95% of the cast are women, except the War Boy and Max. They're all, like, Immortan's, like, wives who are escaping him, and the grandmas.
Splendid.
Yeah.
You are my property.
Yeah, exactly.
Splendid.
And remember, like, Immortan's son's name is Rictus. Rictus! And then, like, it's literally called, like, it's literally supposed to make you think about an erection. So, like, but you know what the great thing about Fury Road was? It was the undertone. Those were, like, undertone.
Yeah.
They never said it outright. And... like, remember when they returned to the Citadel? Like, those gangster ass grandmas. Like, remember what? Like the least old grandma. Like, she gets hit by a car, like by one of the Immortans.
The what's it called, like war rig or something.
Yeah. She gets run down, and that disgusting obese person. Like, he's incredibly obese. So this is not a knock against fat people, because he's designed that way, where he's like unhealthily fat. And then he does this face one, like when they stomped on the woman. So there were these undertone of incredibly like acceptable feminist message.
Yeah. So it's not what it wasn't like in your face. I like like you said, it's like an undertone. And I also love how Furiosa lost her arm. She had lost her arm, and she was wearing like prosthetics.
Yeah.
It was just like taking the female warrior image that Sigourney Weaver and Linda Hamilton made in the 80s and 90s to like a different level.
You think so? You think it's an upgrade to that?
I think it's like an upgrade.
But
I would say that it was like the most badass of them all.
I think Linda Hamilton's is, because remember, let's talk about that. That's a good conversation. I felt like Linda Hamilton's was, remember, she's two different characters in Terminator 1 and 2.
Yeah, it's very contrasting.
Like, and 2 though, I did feel like it was mother energy more than Sigourney Weaver's though. Because Sigourney Weaver is like, like, this is my personal opinion, Won-Jin. You can disagree with me. I feel like Sigourney Weaver is like a true independent woman. Because remember, she was surrounded by men who thought she was a fucking idiot.
And then aliens that are shaped like a penis.
Yes. So I thought like Furiosa being not a mother but like an independent woman, that was actually I think a little bit stronger. This is my personal. I love Hamilton, by the way. I'm not knocking her or anything. I thought the theme was a little different though.
Oh man, Scott Walker, my uncle years ago, he built one of the Mad Max cars for the movies. I can't remember which one. That's awesome. Oh man. Wow. What are the chances something like what happened in Mad Max movie?
Oh man, Walker always talking. Walker, like, why do you always jump to the dystopian future or dinosaur crowded worlds, man?
Maybe that day would never come. We would all live in this green forest with trees and water, and you know, though, but that dystopian, deserted future will never come.
No, but I would say this though, like, now that Walker mentioned it, I feel like Mad Max is. The first 2 and Fury Road is just a fable. Like, at its heart, it's a fable. The Wasteland serves the simple plot. Remember, the first one is a very simple revenge tale. And the second one is, it goes... I think George Miller is a genius at creating worlds. You know? And I think his storytelling... Like, I don't know about Furiosa. I have a different feeling about Furiosa. I think Furiosa is gonna be kind of like Doom Part 2, because from the trailer I saw, we saw because it by definition it's gonna be about how Furiosa started as a child and became the Furiosa we saw on Fury Road, right? So that's a different tale. That's a Bildungsroman that me and Won-Jin we talk about a lot. A growing up tale. But back to Mad Max, the first 2 and Fury Road, I feel like they're just simple fables where like a character called A meets an obstacle like Big Bad Wolf and then defeats it.
After all these hardships and seemingly impossible challenges.
I think because that's why people love the first Mad Max, because it's a very simple tale. And that one also barely has any dialogue. Because the actor who plays Immortan Joe, he plays that whatever toe, and it's a very simple revenge tale. And, you know, the fable goes, what goes around comes around, you know? And the second one has that iconic, I forget his name, that you know, the muscular guy with the fucking weird hockey mask on, and then he talks like a Roman senator. So that's the charm of it. And I thought I thought Fury Road brought all those elements like on the prior 2 movies.
Yeah, and I think it was a very great way of modernizing those elements. And what I loved about the Fury Road was the madness you actually feel, because the way the camera work is done is like you're in the middle of all that action, especially, you know, while they're doing the car chase. We see those, what are they called, war boys? Basically like going on like a suicide mission, and they're all basically like zealots to Immortan. It just shows you how mad the world could turn.
No, but you know, like I'm glad you mentioned that because I am worried about Furiosa here. Number one, prequel movies rarely succeed as the original. Number one, and the problem with the Thunderdome thing was I think the reason why Fury Road worked was because it was so simple. And if you start explaining things, I think just like Star Wars, where the first 3 trilogies perfect because if you start to try to explain everything, it kind of becomes boring. The fresh element disappears. So I am a little bit worried about Furiosa, Mad Max Saga in the fact that when we get to see Furiosa grow up, like I feel like they have to deliver a very interesting Wasteland, like they're gonna start explaining her, right, where she came from, what she is, and I am a little bit concerned about that though.
I'm concerned about something different because the Mad Max Fury Road, when it was released, it had been released after like decades since the last Mad Max movie had hit the theaters, but this time it's just a decade apart, and we've already seen the modern elements to Mad Max. So in order for Furiosa to amaze me just as much, they're gonna have to come up with something fresh.
So are you talking about the technological aspect?
like what they show us
visually?
Yeah, visually, and also in terms of maybe craziness.
No, madness. But I can answer that. I think it's gonna be really hard to top off Fury Road.
That's what I'm concerned about, and also with I was gonna say something about Fury Road. You said that things start to get really boring when you explain things, and what I liked about Fury Road is, remember how those like war boys spray paint their mouth with that silver can of paint?
Yeah.
They don't really explain us anything about that. They
looks
just do
awesome,
it. Yeah,
though.
they don't really explain anything. They just show us, show them doing it without any explanation at all. So we have to just like assume what it means. So that's what I actually liked about.
So I'm glad you mentioned that because Gus Fring was a less interesting villain in Better Call Saul for me than Breaking Bad. You remember like how it started to explain his backstory, and we get to see because his mask was already off. Because in Breaking Bad, when we are introduced to him, he's kind of charming, like the devil is charming. But we get scared of him in season 4 when he's going to war mode with Walter because he's unmasked now. And the problem was in Better Call Saul was that we see him completely unmasked from the start. So like that's my concern here too. Like, because in the trailer I did see Immortan Joe. One of the reasons why Immortan Joe was cool was because remember in Fury Road, he starts off like his body is full of cancer or whatever, and they put armor. All
and
he
then
says
he's got the mask on his face.
Like these like little servants do it, and all he does is here's the water. All his dialogues, Furiosa, go get there, and then where are my wives? Like all his dialogues are fucking simple. Like I think the longest speech he said was to that war boy who betrays me. He said the war boy's like, I'll get them for you. He's like, here, I bless you. I will personally take you to Valhalla. And he fucking fails like an idiot. And Immortan's like, mediocre. And he starts driving. Like he has few dialogues. I think the longest dialogue was that war boy who ended up switching camp. And the beauty of Fury Road was that because the story was simple, like, because remember the war boy, Nicholas Hoult, his name is the actor. Nick He's basically what the Star Wars trilogy that traitor stormtrooper wish he was. Sometimes no dialogue is just better because visually they already showed us that these are like cult, because they already showed us images of kids, remember?
Yeah.
Kid war boys becoming war boys. So in our mind, we can already imagine, oh, these guys are like Congo slave soldiers who get brainwashed. But the Nicholas Holt's war boy story made sense because he gets a completely different perspective. He finds a woman that I think he falls in love with. And then he changes, so like, and this happens in like very few scenes.
That's right.
And I'm adding to what you said because you were telling me about showing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so the showing was incredibly efficient.
Yeah.
And I felt like that's why remember, he says, there's 2 times he says, remember me. One time when he was an idiot and trying to kill Furiosa going into the storm, right? And Tom Hardy beats the shit out of him and kidnaps him. But later, like, his Witness Me is one of the most remembered moments, remember?
Yeah.
Because Immortan Joe just died and Rictus is going crazy. He looks at the woman that he fell in love with and says, remember me. So all we get is a few scenes of who he was and then 2 scenes that are amazing because it's like 10 minutes we get character development.
Yeah, that's right. They come through this character arc with minimal dialogue.
Exactly. And I would say minimal scenes because let me praise Fury Road. Editing is crazy on that, son. like I think George Miller personally edited it. I think I read that somewhere after I watched the movie. That editing is insane. Like, cause I'm assuming just by the desert and the real vehicles alone, they must have filmed like 500 hours to make 100 hours or something. Because, like, imagine taking a retake of that. These cars have to all go back there.
They're all, like, dangling on the stick.
Yeah! How the fuck did they do that?
And imagine, like, once they go through, like, the part of the desert, they're going to have to, like, get rid of all the tracks that they left from the previous shot and everything. There's a lot of things to take care of.
Oh, you think so? That's insane, man. You think so? Like, cause, like, oh, man.
I mean, if they did do retakes.
You think so? Why didn't Mel Gibson return to the other Mad Max movies? I think, Walker, that has to do with his little scandal where he made anti-Semite comments. And I think that's why he was probably out. Was it better than the original Mad Max? Fury Road, do you think it was better than the original?
I personally thought it was more entertaining than the original one. I mean, originals are somewhat sacred because they're basically like inspiration.
They started the whole thing.
Yeah, they started the whole thing.
So it's like that question of whether Alien or Aliens were better, right? So, but you would still put. So let me ask you a different question.
If I have to recommend someone like a Mad Max franchise, like one movie to watch, I would recommend them Fury Road. That's what I would do.
I mean, I would say though it did feel like an upgrade though, because you know what's so funny? Just because it's 30 years apart, it doesn't always mean upgrade, right? Because we wouldn't put Prometheus and Alien Covenant above Alien and Aliens,
that's
right?
right.
But you're saying, in your perspective, Fury Road is above Mad Max and Mad Max Road Warrior.
I just get this feeling that the Fury Road is probably what George Miller had
in mind,
had visioned in his mind when he was
80s.
making Mad Max in the 80s.
Point.
But he probably didn't have the resources and the technology to really realize his imagination into a movie. So it's just a feeling that I get.
No, that's I would say that's a fair assessment. Maybe really. What would it be like if Mel Gibson returned? I would respect him if he plays the villain.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Like, cause Mel Gibson, remember? Cause Won-Jin, we watched him at Drag Through Concrete. So I actually enjoy Gibson playing sort of this quirky or even evil character, and I think that's why Chris Hemsworth is playing a character called Dementus, I think, in this Furiosa movie. So he's gonna try out a villain role. So to answer your Walker, I think Won-Jin and I would agree that we want Gibson to play a villain. You sound like you really enjoyed it.
Yeah, ZZ, if you haven't seen it, you should totally watch it. It's very good.
Oh, Mel Gibson voiced Rocky
in the movie Chicken Run. Yeah, I remember Chicken Run. That clay animation of like 1984.
Oh, I fucking love that.
That was awesome as well. That was pretty funny.
Like, I love it when Gibson plays evil characters. Because I mean, first of all, like, controversies aside, he's a great actor. Period.
Also a great director in my opinion.
Oh, of course. Like, come on. Like, me and Won-Jin, I think we watched
Apocalypto
together. Or, like, we watched it and we talked about it immediately.
We watched it together in the same theater.
Yeah.
We were, like, amazed by it.
Yeah. I think history buffs hates him. But as a storyteller, he is really good at telling traditional stories. that are rated R. It's not a Mel Gibson movie unless people die or get SA'd, and then that's just the way it goes. Remember Passion of Christ and the Apocalypse and Braveheart? Come on, there's always some beheadings.
That's right.
There's always an evil piece of shit, but these works because it's like that traditional story, good guy, bad guy, and some historical questions because I would say like his storytelling ability is amazing.
When I first saw Chicken Run, the voice of Rocky didn't sound like Mel Gibson to me. It sounded like a guy who did the live-action TV series, The Adventures of Hercules. Okay.
Hey, but I want to say like casting Anna Taylor-Joy as Furiosa, I think is brilliant.
I also kind of look forward to her performance because so far she's been doing a very good job and she's in like all these different roles.
Yeah.
What was that movie with the
Queen's Gambit?
No. The sequel to the what was it?
Oh, the personality shit.
Oh, the personality shit. What was it? The Split. Oh, Split. I think that was the name of the movie, Split. Yeah.
By M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah, and she was brilliant in that. Queen's Gambit. That was also great. And
Dune Part 2.
Yeah, we briefly saw her in Dune Part 2, which means we will probably see her if like Dune Part 3 comes out. So I love the fact that she's trying these like roles where she has to kind of break away from like the roles that she had previously played. Yeah.
So you're saying she's taking on an action role like Charlize Theron, right? I mean, of course, you just brought up that she had an action role.
I mean, she still has like trophies to win to come close to like Charlize Theron's caliber, but so far I think she's been excellent in everything she played in.
But you know what? When are we gonna do whatever talk chat? Right after this, Walker.
After this, we're gonna do the Let's Talk session.
No, but you know what I love about her though? How big her eyes are. Like when I see an actor like that, she reminds me a lot of what's his name? Because some actors just, for example, let me give you. Fassbender can play both good and evil. Some characters can play both male and female. Who's that guy who played Joker and who was in
Jared Leto?
Yeah.
Jared Leto.
And I feel like Anna Taylor-Joy, you know what she has? She's beautiful, of course, but she has such a non-traditional look. She looks almost alien, and I don't mean it in a bad way. Like, because I saw an interview with her and Chris Hemsworth. I'm like kind of like this, like how I guess photographers will love a model to look like something really unique, and she just has that look. And when I saw the trailers, all I could see was her big eyes. Like there's all this like car shit all over her face, but look, her eyes are this big. Like you can kill somebody with her eyes. So
people with big eyes always look like aliens.
Yeah, hey, remember I said it in a good way, because she's still beautiful. Or frogs.
Did you know Linda Hamilton did a King comedy back in 1986? Did you know Linda Hamilton did a King Kong? Oh, King Kong movie.
No, but Hamilton, I think she was like these actors, like female actors we were talking about. She didn't start off as a tough girl like casting. I think that like Rodriguez, that actor was always typecast as a tough.
Oh, you mean Michelle Rodriguez?
Yeah, exactly. But I think Hamilton also did a change, because remember in Terminator 2, she worked out.
Yeah, that's right.
Like her.
How's the arm, doctor?
Yeah. I almost felt like she could punch the P-1000. And I think this is just my speculation, but I think Charlize Theron probably worked out for Fury Road too. Because I remember her as muscular, I think, and like then
toned and everything.
And remember she's also tall, so a lot of her physical acting looked real. Like at least like within the environment of the movie.
I mean, that's why Charlize Theron was perfect for the role. I mean, she's got the acting performance, she's got the physique.
And I think Zoe Kravitz was also in it. Now that I remember, she was the one.
That's right, Lenny Kravitz's daughter.
Yeah, she was the one who like load this, and she loaded it.
Well, wasn't she the one who didn't she play that
Catwoman?
The Catwoman in the recent Batman.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah. No, that's Zoe Kravitz. That's right.
No, so she was great in the role too. Like one of the great things about Fury Road is, see, this is why I'm worried about Furiosa. In Fury Road, we get a lot of colorful because of visual storytelling at its best. characters get few lines. We don't get to know them, but we have an idea of what they kind of are, and it just goes on. Because even remember Immortan's wife who was pregnant. She has a very memorable scene where when Immortan's about to aim at Max, she opens the door and blocks the way. Immortan's like, "No, that's my child in there." And then so we get like a lot of condensed characterization that we love. Because even Charlize Theron, she didn't even like. She looked like she went through hell.
That's right.
And she didn't
no explanation required.
And she didn't even need to explain to us why she wanted to rescue these wives. Because I guess we'll get an explanation in Furiosa, right? So like sometimes like Won-Jin, this is what I'll say. I think you'll agree. Less is more.
Great point.
So
I think that's like a philosophy for this movie.
Yeah. So the problem but this is I haven't watched the Furiosa. I think I'm a little bit worried about more is more that's gonna happen there.
More is more. We know what happens when you watch the later Transformers movies by Michael Bay. More is more. That's what happens.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
If things become too excessive. But I'm relieved that George Miller is personally also directing the movie, because a lot of times when we have a hit, studios would they would jump on the franchise to come up with sequels, and sometimes they have conflict with the director and the creative the thinkers and everything. But in this case, Furiosa is basically being birthed by the same director who came up with the entire franchise,
who has the same vision.
That's right. So I know that it's not gonna suck. I'm pretty sure it's not gonna suck.
So what do you think about it, like Hemsworth being like cast as the villain though? Like, do you think he's gonna? Because
I'll have to see, because I'm still not convinced with Chris Hemsworth being able to play a villain role, because he has such kind eyes, and he played Thor. Basically, he's like one of the good guys of the good guys,
and good looking too. I think he remember in the trailer I saw he had the prosthetic nose, so I think he's trying to do what Charlize Theron did with the Monster movie. Because like how like beautiful people get typecast as beautiful, because Chris Hemsworth basically took the Thor role because he looked like a fucking Greek god with his muscles and handsome looks. So I guess he's trying to change that here.
Yeah, so he's gonna have to prove himself with this one.
You think the role is very gonna be,
in order for him to be able to convince me that he can play a villain? You look at actors like Colin. We talked about Batman. Look at Colin Farrell playing the Penguin. That was so convincing.
The physical transformation.
Not just the physical transformation, but the way he talked. Remember, the guy's Irish. He talks straight like he's from New Jersey.
Right.
Oh,
well,
man.
I wouldn't say that though. I think he was trying to be Tony Soprano, but I would say, remember how like James Gandolfini in the first episode of The Sopranos, I felt like he was trying a Jersey accent, and then as the episode went on, it became a Jersey accent though. Because so like, I agree with you, he was great in the role, but there were like few moments where I felt like, that's not a Jersey accent. Like that felt like an Irish guy trying to do a Jersey accent, But I agree with you. So here.
Scott Walker, he's talking about Terminator 2. Arnold Schwarzenegger, originally they decided to cast Arnold Schwarzenegger to play the character. They also considered actors like Sylvester Stallone or John Travolta. Look at Arnold Schwarzenegger. His accent is pretty much the same in every single movie.
Right.
Get out of there. There's a bomb in there.
Get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper. Like, yeah.
And yet he still manages. But then we talk about actors like Colin Farrell pulling off that Penguin role. Hey, he's phenomenal.
I feel like though Colin Farrell, he's one of those actors that always wants to try new roles.
That's right. I remember him playing that piece of shit role in Horrible Bosses.
Right,
the balding son of the company's owner.
I think he was one of those few actors that because I think in the early days he was cast as the hot guy.
Yeah, I remember. I remember first seeing him in Minority Report. Remember, he was one of the investigators chasing Tom Cruise, and he was like this handsome, good-looking guy, and then he was in the movie Phone Booth and everything. But then after some time, I can see him trying these like different roles.
No, I think it is like a longevity thing for actors though, because just like Matthew McConaughey, you're no longer sexy guy. You wanna try a HIV patient. You wanna do serious roles, and I think Colin Farrell was very smart at that. Because remember, he played a cop in True Detective season 2 too.
Oh, that's right.
Like he had the stomach. He looked alcoholic, and then he talked really bad. So like acting wise, he's I think caliber. So but like back to Chris Hemsworth though, I don't think I agree with you. But to be fair, I don't think he ever got a role where he can go crazy. And I think this is the type of movie where you have to go crazy. Because remember, in Mad Max Fury Road, the great thing was Tom Hardy and Charlize Theron were memorable because they were the only calm people around. Everybody else was like a war boy, Valhalla.
Right. They were like the sane ones in a sea of insanity.
Exactly. If they do a remake of Terminator Origin, could you see Chris Pratt playing the part of Terminator? I can never see this like Chris Pratt.
It's kind of like watching Chris Rock playing that role in Fargo season 4.
Yeah,
I would still think it's somewhat funny.
Because remember in Genesis, like the latest one, where the War of the Planet of the Apes actor plays.
I forgot his name.
No, he's a great actor, but for some reason he was also in Oppenheimer as one of the senators. Remember? No, but the problem with the Terminator franchise is if they wanted to escape Arnold Schwarzenegger, they should have done it years ago. Like, they just put too much in making him that icon.
I know. And I think one of the biggest problem is with every sequel, the people who are involved, they're completely different. But with Mad Max, we have like the same brain, the same person on the helm, so we get to have consistency.
So to answer your question, Walker, remember Terminator 1 and 2 have the same director, James Cameron, and that worked. Mad Max always has George Miller involved. I think like for the first, second one, and then this Fury Road and its prequel, so that works. But if you wanted to take a different approach, you should have done the Alien thing, because every Alien movie has different directors.
Yeah, that's right.
Except the recent reboot, of course.
And they all have like a different color to it.
Right.
And I think with Alien, the protagonist always managed to stay the same. It was always Sigourney Weaver, despite the different directors. So I think that's also what made it work.
I agree.
Yeah.
Here, Chris Pratt, John Travolta, or Sylvester Stallone as Terminator. Hey, Walker, I actually don't see any of them becoming Terminator. The only person I would love to see as a Terminator is actually Michael Fassbender. Michael Fassbender as T-1000.
Oh, that would be terrifying.
Yeah, I would love to see
because
that.
We already saw him play like a droid.
Oh,
in
yeah.
Prometheus. And he's very good.
You read my mind, because I feel like if anybody plays a Terminator, they have to look either intimidating or evil without any dialogue. And I think the reason why Fury Road is such a great example of Charlize Theron and Tom Hardy's acting ability is because I think a lot of actors won't be able to play a character that has like few dialogues. That's why we love T-1000 and Terminator 2.
Yeah.
And Judgment Day, because like Mr. Patrick's career was all made by that.
I mean, this. Remember this?
Right. And then he does this.
Yeah, this thing.
And then
that just sold everything.
And then and then so that was good. Oh, Alien is literally my all-time favorite. Hey, Zessie, which one do you like, Alien or Aliens? Yeah, years ago, I said John Travolta is so we were actually they interested in doing it, and they all said they love to, but they got Arnold. Yeah, because like hey Walker, I think the problem is the first two movie just cemented Terminator 8. T-800 is the model name. T-800 equals Arnold as such a unchangeable thing. Remember, even in
the recent ones, we get like CGI version of like mass-produced T-800 models,
and it's all him.
Arnold, with Arnold's physique.
Remember
his prime physique?
Yeah, even the one with what's his name, American Psycho,
Christian Bale.
Yeah, even though they had that Arnold Schwarzenegger CG. So
he's so iconic that it's kind of difficult to think of someone to replace him.
Oh. Now that you mentioned that, Won-Jin, I have a theory. If they're going to drop us a Terminator movie, this is my solution. Low budget, like 30 to 40 million in movie terms. And then in the title, they should not let us know that it's a Terminator movie. But it should be like an hour and 30 to 40 minute movie where as time goes by, we realize this is a Terminator movie. And then they surprise us with like a Michael Fassbender who turns out to have a red eye. I think that's the only way it works. I think the problem with the Terminator movie is that people have such high expectation that if I'm a director, I'm probably like eating Valium every day and drinking alcohol. Like, how am I supposed to make the studio happy, the audience happy, and then like I'm gonna get fucked like if I fail. So it just became like this poison pill. Like, I mean, like, let's be honest. Like, if you're a director and say you want to take a Terminator movie, you need to have some guts. I feel like now. Like,
and you better have some very good ideas.
Yeah, it just became such an impossible like proposition.
And you also need to be yourself like an avid fan of the franchise. Just like, J.J. Abrams took the director role for the Star Wars sequels.
Yeah. Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, was actually asked to replace Arnold Schwarzenegger. I actually don't agree with that casting.
It's not going to work because we already saw what he looks like in a different movie. Like, what was it? The Scorpion King? Yeah. He's not going to work as Terminator. I think you have to get someone from the 80s with like a large physique, just like Arnold Schwarzenegger, like Dolph Lundgren or something. He could work.
It's weird how Terminator is such a timeless masterpiece, yet stuck in that like late 80s, early to mid 90s vibe. And like I'm glad you mentioned that because I agree with you where that look needs to be preserved. And I think that's one of the reasons why when the Queen of the Dothrakis was in the latest reboot, I just didn't feel her at all. Like all that CG and shit. When the Terminator did a Transformer like bug thing and became, I did not agree with that.
Wasn't it like this like nanotechnology or something? And we had this Hispanic Terminator.
Yeah, I like all the version where Sigourney plays, and I really like her character. And oh yeah, she was in the first three, Zedzi, and she's amazing in all three of her.
Jin could work in Terminator. He has the large physique.
No,
I would be like a bitch ass compared to Arnold.
No. You and I will be the test models. Like I'll be T200, you're T300.
Oh no, we're gonna be like those like crash dummies kind of thing.
No.
Test like the power of an actual Terminator.
No. We'll have 10 seconds rolls and. I'm T200. I just came out of the factory. You're T300, and Skynet is like failure, burn, incinerate. T200, and then T300 gets dumped.
Shit.
Can you see John Cena as Terminator?
He also still has that comic feel to him.
No, but what about
when he does try to play like a serious role? It works, but then he still has that hint of comedy. So if I watch John Cena play Terminator, like somewhere deep in my mind, I would expect him to do something funny. That's not gonna work.
I actually disagree with you because I respect what you said, Won-Jin, but remember Dave Bautista? He plays Guardian of the Galaxy and Raban in Doom Part 2. And I feel like John Cena, I mean, he's never tried it before, but given a chance, maybe though. Like, because he does have the physique though. And I agree with you that his image is comedian, but that's precisely the reason why like actors like them take challenging roles. So John Cena, I actually, because remember in what's that movie lately, Peacemaker, he showed me a lot of range actually. Like, because from funny to being dumb to sad to heroic, I thought he showed tremendous. I think wrestlers,
they're like natural born talents.
Yeah.
They're natural born entertainers.
They're charismatic. I'm not disrespecting wrestling, but there is certain acting there, yes? So they have long experiences. So maybe John Cena could work, I would say. Maybe if you hold Joe on your back, you'll look beefy enough, Jin. No, Zetzi, we're grandpa. So if Won-Jin like puts me on his back, we're gonna break our backs, hon. You didn't answer my question. You guys, what is wrong with John for the?
Uh-oh.
Oh, we're getting a report. No, Skywalker, it's all good. You can call us anything you want. Old farts is fine. No, but John Travolta and Sylvester Stallone. The problem is, no, we're getting like an announcement. No, but to answer your question, like this is my personal opinion, Walker. Like you don't have to agree with me, Walker, but I just don't.
You know what? I think maybe we should continue talking about this on our Let's Talk, and I think we should finish up on the Fury.
Okay.
Because we've been talking for 45 minutes, and I think we should wrap this up.
Okay, before we end it, I mean, I don't feel like we need to do it, but let's do it anyway. Let's give a number grade to Fury Road.
Oh, Fury Road, it's a 10. I can give it a 10. It's not even a 9. It's a 10.
I agree.
Yeah.
If
flawless.
I will give it an 11. Fuck you.
Hey, that's not the rule.
I'm gonna be honest. When Fury Road dropped, I think I watched it like 5 times over and over again, and I can still watch it anytime I want. The lady in the ceiling reminding you to take your vitamins. Oh, thank you, Zetzi. I always feel Zetzi's concern for us. Like our arthritis, our butt bones maybe cracking because we're old.
To see you guys, this movie probably can't beat the original Mad Max. Okay.
Yeah.
You should totally watch it if you haven't seen it.
Look, guys, we're going to take a 3-minute break now, and we're going to come back, and we're going to talk directly with you. This has been basically our retrospective on Fury Road. So for new subscribers, please press like and subscribe. Me and Won-Jin, we talk about movies and shows every Saturday. So please come back and give us on. And if you have movies and shows you like us to review, please leave it on the reply. This has been Joe-Jin Movie So Awesome. I was Joe.
I was Won-Jin.
And these grandpas will be right back after we take our vitamins. Thank you so much. Bye.
See you soon.
Oh, Won-Jin, I broke my hip while talking about this podcast. I can't afford surgery. We need donations.